All right. So you want to be an outdoor activities coordinator, huh? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to deep dive into this awesome role and give you the tools to totally crush that interview.
We've got a career guide packed with insights, an interview guide to help you prep for those tough questions, and we'll even touch on how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon in landing that dream job.
I love that. A secret weapon. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The career guide lays out this role as someone who manages programs, resources, makes sure clients are happy, while juggling all the safety, technical, and environmental considerations of outdoor activities. That's a lot.
It is. It's a blend of leadership and logistics, but, at its core, it's all about a deep passion for the outdoors.
And that passion should definitely come through in your interview.
100%.
So let's jump right into some sample interview questions. You know they're going to hit you with this one right off the bat. Can you tell us about your previous experience in coordinating outdoor activities? What's the best way to approach that?
Don't just rattle off your resume. Think about specific, impactful examples that really showcase your skills. Did you organize a challenging multi-day hiking trip? Did you manage a team of volunteers for a conservation project? Or maybe you planned a unique team-building activity.
Yeah. Instead of just saying, I led a group hike, I should say something like, I led a group of 15 beginner hikers on a 5-mile hike. We had some unexpected trail closures, so I had to quickly adapt the route, all while making sure everyone felt safe and informed.
Bingo! Those specifics make your experience come alive. It shows you can handle real-world challenges. And be ready for follow-up questions, too, like, what was the biggest obstacle you faced on that hike? Or how did you adapt to the needs of different participants?
So it's all about showing them you can think on your feet and that you won't crumble under pressure.
Exactly.
Okay, what about a question like, how do you plan and organize outdoor activities for different age groups and skill levels? I mean, that just screams adaptability.
It totally does. You might be comfortable leading a group of experienced rock climbers, but what about planning a nature walk for families with young children? Or designing an accessible kayaking trip for people with disabilities? This is where you highlight how you can tailor activities to different needs and ensure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience.
So it's all about showcasing your versatility and that safety-first mindset.
Right.
I mean, especially when you're dealing with all sorts of different groups. And I'm sure they're going to ask about risk management, too.
Oh, you bet. A question like, how do you manage risk in outdoor activities, and what measures do you take to ensure the safety of participants, is almost a guarantee. This is where you showcase that proactive approach to safety.
So walk them through your process.
Yeah.
From the initial risk assessments and the emergency protocols to the specific safety measures you always implement. For example, I might say something like, before every trip, I conduct a thorough risk assessment, considering weather conditions, trail difficulty, participant experience. I also always make sure everyone has the appropriate gear, and I carry a comprehensive first aid kit and always have a communication plan in place for emergencies.
Now you're talking. That level of detail really shows you take safety seriously and that you have the expertise to create a secure environment for everyone.
They want to feel confident that you've got this.
Absolutely.
All right, let's switch gears a bit and talk about leadership. Because being an outdoor activities coordinator isn't just about leading hikes, it's about leading people too.
Right.
So how would you approach a question like, how do you manage a team of outdoor activity instructors?
This is all about highlighting your leadership style. Are you collaborative? Do you prioritize clear communication and feedback? Think about how you motivate your team, delegate tasks effectively, and foster a positive work environment.
Yeah, and it's not just about telling them, it's about showing them. I mean, having a great anecdote ready to go can really hammer home that point. For example, I once had a team of instructors with conflicting teaching styles. So I facilitated a workshop where they could share their approaches and learn from each other. We actually ended up developing a unified teaching strategy that benefited both the instructors and participants.
Perfect. You've just demonstrated leadership and problem-solving skills. They want to know you can handle those unexpected challenges and keep everyone working together effectively.
Yeah, we're talking about leading a team in dynamic outdoor environments.
Where things don't always go as planned.
Exactly. Okay, now let's shift gears again. This job is all about getting people excited about the outdoors, but there's a growing focus on sustainability too. How do you think that might come up in the interview?
Well, they might ask you something like, how do you incorporate environmental sustainability into your outdoor activities? And this is your chance to show you're eco-conscious and committed to minimizing our impact on nature.
So I should definitely mention the leave no trace principles.
Absolutely.
But maybe I can go a step further and talk about specific practices I implement, like, always using reusable water bottles, encouraging participants to pack out their trash, maybe even lead educational sessions on the local flora and fauna to give people a deeper appreciation for nature.
Exactly. It's about showing them you're not just leading activities, you're an advocate for responsible outdoor recreation.
Now, speaking of going above and beyond, let's talk about how to make sure participants have a positive experience. Because at the end of the day, this role is all about creating memorable experiences. What kind of questions should I expect around that?
Well, they might ask something like, how do you ensure participants have a positive experience during outdoor activities? And this is where you go beyond just the logistics.
Right.
This is where you talk about exceeding expectations.
Okay, so I could share examples of how I personalize activities based on individual interests and skill levels. Like, maybe I had a participant who was nervous about rock climbing. So I gave them extra support and encouragement and helped them overcome their fear.
Yeah.
And they felt a real sense of accomplishment. Or maybe I organized a surprise campfire sing-along.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it created this really magical memory for the group.
Those are great examples. It shows you genuinely care about creating a positive and inclusive environment for everyone.
And those personal touches, they really make a difference.
They do.
This has been incredibly helpful. I feel way more confident already. But there are tons more questions they could ask. What else should I be ready for?
Oh, there are a few more. They're going to want to hear all about a successful outdoor activity that you coordinated. But before we get into that, let's talk about something that can give you a real leg up in your interview prep. Have you ever heard of RoleCatcher's AI tools?
Oh, yeah. I've heard they're a real game changer for tailoring your answers and understanding what hiring managers are looking for. Can you tell me more?
Sure. You know how we talked about figuring out what this specific employer wants? Well, RoleCatcher's AI takes it even further. It analyzes the job description, figures out the key skills they want, and then gives you personalized feedback on how to highlight those skills in your answers.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring for the job description.
It is.
Helps you understand what they're really asking.
Yeah.
And then craft the perfect answer.
Exactly. And we'll dive deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive. But for now, let's keep practicing those interview questions, get you feeling confident and ready to shine.
Welcome back to our Outdoor Activities Coordinator Interview Prep Deep Dive.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to keep practicing these interview questions and really nail those answers.
Me too. Let's pick up where we left off. You mentioned having some awesome stories to share about a successful outdoor activity you coordinated. Remember, it's not just about telling a captivating story. You want to use it strategically to showcase your skills.
Right.
And how they match up with the job requirements.
Okay, so how do I do that? Do I just pick the most impressive activity I've ever led or what?
The interviewer wants to know what you accomplished, but also how you did it and why it was a success. They're looking for evidence of your planning, problem solving, leadership, and even your ability to reflect and learn.
So instead of just saying, I planned this awesome kayaking trip, I should break it down a bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed people were getting really into kayaking, so I researched routes, I secured the permits, organized transportation, and found experienced guides. I wanted to make sure it was safe and enjoyable for everyone. And then I could talk about the outcome, like the trip was totally booked, we got rave reviews, it even sparked a new kayaking club.
Now you're talking. You've painted a picture of the entire process from start to finish. And don't forget those little details that bring your story to life. Were there any unexpected challenges? How did you overcome them? What did you learn from the experience?
Yeah, showing them you're not just following a script, that you're thinking critically, you're learning from every experience.
Exactly.
Okay, what about a question like, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and best practices?
I feel like I'm always learning. But how do I say that in an interview,
It's your chance to show off your dedication to your professional development. Instead of just saying, I read articles. Mention specific resources, conferences, maybe you're working on some certifications.
Yeah.
Are you subscribed to any magazines? Do you follow any blogs? Are you a member of a professional organization?
Oh, and if I've taken a wilderness first aid course or swiftwater rescue, those are good to mention.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Those certifications show how committed you are to safety and your willingness to learn new skills. And if you're working towards a new certification, that shows ambition too.
Okay, this is making so much sense. I feel like I'm getting a crash course in interview mastery. Can we talk about RoleCatcher's AI for a sec? I'm so curious how it can help me tailor my answers.
Of course. Remember how we talked about understanding what this specific employer is looking for? Well, RoleCatcher's AI takes that to a whole new level. It analyzes the job description, finds those key words and qualifications,
Right.
and then it gives you personalized feedback on how to emphasize those things in your answers.
Oh, so it's like a secret decoder ring for the job description.
Yeah, it is.
It helps me understand what they're really asking and how to craft the perfect answers.
It does. It goes beyond just keywords, too. It can figure out the tone of the job description, give you insights into the company culture, what kind of candidate they want. It can even point out weaknesses in your answers and help you fix them.
Wow, that is next level prep.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out. Okay, back to those interview questions. There are a few that always make me nervous, like, how do I handle a question about conflicts or disagreements?
Yeah, that's a tricky one, especially with outdoor activities.
Right.
They might ask you something like, how do you handle conflicts or disagreements between participants? And it's not about avoiding conflict. It's
Brilliant.
about managing it effectively.
So I shouldn't just say I'm good at resolving conflicts. I should actually give an example, right?
Think of a specific situation where you had to mediate or address a difficult behavior. Maybe two people disagreed about the route, or someone wasn't respecting iTerm. Leave no trace. Explain how you addressed the situation calmly and made sure everyone felt heard.
And what if it didn't work out perfectly? Is that okay?
The important thing is to show that you learned from it
Right.
and how you would handle similar situations in the future. It's all about showing them that you can navigate those tough situations and keep things positive. Speaking of tough situations, let's talk about salary.
Yeah, that's what I always get nervous about. Salary negotiation, I never know what to say. I don't want to seem pushy or undervalue myself.
You're not alone.
Right.
Salary negotiations can be scary, but remember, you're worth it.
I know.
And the key is confidence and preparation.
Okay, but where do I even start? I mean, I don't even know what a good salary is for this kind of role.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lowball myself, but I also don't want to, price myself out.
First, do your research. Websites like Glassdoor and Salary.com can give you an idea of what other people are making in similar jobs in your area. Factor in your experience, your qualifications, the responsibilities of this specific role, and think about what you need financially. What salary lets you live comfortably and do the things you love?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if they ask about salary expectation, should I give them a specific number?
It's usually better to give a range. Something based on your research that gives you room to negotiate. You could say something like, based on my experience, I'm looking for something between X and Y. This shows that you've done your homework and that you're flexible,
Right.
but that you also know what you're worth.
And if they push for a specific number, can I just deflect a little?
Sure,
So
I
maybe
can.
say, I'm open to discussing a fair offer that takes into account the whole compensation package.
That's a good strategy. It shows you're willing to negotiate, but you also understand that it's not just about the money.
Right. Benefits and vacation time and all that stuff.
All those perks can make a big difference.
Okay. This is super helpful. I feel way better about those tough questions. But, the interview isn't just about answering their questions.
Right.
It's also about asking questions. What kind of questions should I ask?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm reading off a list.
It's about finding that balance
Right.
between being prepared and being genuine.
Mm.
Think about what really interests you about the job, the company,
Yeah.
the future of outdoor activities.
Okay, I guess my first question would be, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the outdoor activities department right now? I want to know about the real stuff, not just the fun stuff.
Good question. It shows you're not just interested in the surface level, you're already thinking critically about the role. And it gives you a chance to talk about how you've handled similar challenges in the past.
And I also want to know what it's like to work there. So I might ask, can you describe the team dynamic within the outdoor activities department? I want to know about the culture, the communication, the vibe.
That's a good one. It shows you're thinking about the bigger picture, how you'll fit in.
And since I'm really into sustainability, I might ask, what are some of the organization's sustainability initiatives, especially the ones related to outdoor programs? It shows that I care about the same things they do.
Yes, it's about finding those connections between what you're passionate about and the company's goals. And remember, your questions can also show off your leadership skills and your problem-solving skills.
So instead of asking, what's a typical day like? I could ask, What are some of the most innovative programs you've run,
Yeah,
and what made them so successful?
that's a great question. It shows you're curious and you want to learn from their experience.
This is also helpful, but interviews are always a little nerve-wracking. What if I freeze up
Yeah.
or get a question that totally throws me off?
It happens. Stay calm, take a breath. It's okay to pause and think for a second. You can even say something like, "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment."
Right.
And what about those curveball questions? The ones that are totally random and have nothing to do with the job, like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Oh, yeah, those.
Those questions are meant to assess your personality, your creativity, your ability to think on your feet. So don't overthink it.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Let your personality shine through.
So if they ask about my spirit tree, I should just go with it.
Yeah, maybe you're a redwood, strong and resilient. Or maybe you're a willow tree, flexible and adaptable. There's no wrong answer. It's about showing them who you are.
Okay, I'm ready. Anything else I should keep in mind?
Remember, you've got this. You're passionate about the outdoors.
Right.
You have experience. And you're prepared. Let that enthusiasm show. Be yourself.
And don't forget those resources from RoleCatcher.
Right.
Their AI tools can really make you stand out.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher can help you tailor your resume and cover letter. Even practice your answers.
I feel so much more confident now.
We're glad to hear it. Remember, preparation is key, but so is passion.
Right.
Let your love for the outdoors guide you, and you'll do great.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive. We've talked about crafting those awesome answers. We've talked about handling those tricky salary negotiations. But before you walk into that interview, there's one more thing we have to cover.
Asking insightful questions of your own.
Okay, so what kind of questions should I be asking? I want to be prepared, but I also don't want to sound like I'm reading off a list.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, right? You want to be prepared, but you also want to be authentic. Think about what you genuinely want to know about the role. What are you curious about? The organization. The future of outdoor recreation.
I'm definitely going to ask about the challenges they're facing.
Oh, good work.
Something like, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the outdoor activities department right now? I don't want to just focus on the fun stuff.
Exactly. It shows them you're already thinking critically about the job, and it gives you a chance to talk about how you've handled similar challenges.
I'm also curious about the team. I want to know what it's like to actually work there. So I might ask, can you describe the team dynamic in the outdoor activities department? What's the culture like? Communication style? What's the vibe?
That's a great question. It shows you're thinking about the bigger picture, how you'll fit in.
And I'm a big sustainability nerd, so I'm going to ask about that too. What are some of your organization's sustainability initiatives, especially the ones related to outdoor programs? It shows I'm aligned with their values.
Exactly. It's all about connecting your passions with what they're doing. And remember, those questions can show off your leadership style too, and your problem-solving skills.
So instead of just saying, what's a typical day like, I could ask, what are some of your most innovative outdoor programs? And what made them so successful?
Perfect. That question shows you're curious, that you're a strategic thinker, and that you're eager to learn.
Okay, this is all making so much sense. I feel like a pro now. But let's be honest. Interviews can be nerve-wracking.
They are.
What if I freeze up? Or they ask me a question that totally throws me?
It happens. The important thing is to stay calm. Take a deep breath. It's okay to pause. Gather your thoughts. You can even say, "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment."
Okay.
And then there are those curveball questions, the ones that are completely random.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Exactly. They ask those to see your personality, your creativity, how you think on your feet. So don't overthink it. Just have fun with it.
So if they ask about my spirit tree, I should just roll with it.
Exactly. Maybe you're a redwood, strong and resilient. Or maybe you're a willow, super flexible. There's no right or wrong answer. Just be yourself.
All right, I'm ready to embrace the weirdness. Anything else I should keep in mind?
Remember, you've got this. You're passionate about the outdoors. You've got the skills and the experience. And you've prepped like crazy. Let your enthusiasm shine. Be yourself. Show them why you're the perfect fit.
And don't forget to use those awesome resources from RoleCatcher.
Oh yeah, those AI tools can give you a real edge, help you stand out from the crowd.
This deep dive has been amazing. I feel so much more confident and prepared to totally rock that interview.
We're so glad to hear that. Remember, preparation is key. But so is passion.
Let that love for the outdoors guide you. You'll be amazing.
We're rooting for you.
And to all you future Outdoor activities coordinators out there, go out there, crush that interview, and land that dream job. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.